And welcome to the McDonald's podcast today, ladies and gentlemen. Episode 2. We got a couple of special guests with us, but as always, let's introduce the McCast. We have Tony McBowers.
Hello.
Frank McMartinez.
See.
We have James McDrake.
Hello.
And special guests tonight, we have Brandon McHasty.
Howdy, boys.
And Christopher McKeith McTyler. All one person, all same name. And me, William McHolland.
Yeah.
Okay, so before the podcast, we were talking about cancer-sniffing dogs.
And Frank is against them.
No, wait.
Why are you shh. Let's let him explain first before we yell.
So before we, just get at this. Chris's girlfriend, Elena.
Oh my God.
Say hi.
So-
say hi.
Yeah, say hi.
Mick Elena.
Elena.
McLena.
She told me she's not going to talk.
No, she.
Well, I'm told
She's a person, Will. She talks. So she's talking
Women are
about
not objects.
us being at McDonald's and how she doesn't support McDonald's.
Because of what they do to the animals.
Because of what they do to animals. So she then brings up, oh, by the way, speaking of genetically modified animals,
She did not praise it like that.
Exact
That's
phrasing.
Exact phrasing.
Word for word.
100% what she
Trash.
said.
She also said, I
That's
love it
not
when
what
they kill
happened.
chickens.
That's also not true. Oh no.
She did.
I heard it. It happened.
You guys are gonna blow out.
Yeah,
You do not have to talk
That's
backwards.
not
you can talk like
true.
regular.
Shout out to PETA.
she's
That's
over here
not what
talking
happened,
about
first of all. Let's wait. Let's back up.
Okay.
So that's not what happened.
That's what
I
happened.
said I don't like what happens to animals, and then I got excited because you said something, and I said, "Oh."
Oh, I think he said, I love cancer.
He said I love cancer, and I
Definitely.
said, "Did you know that they're making cancer-sniffing dogs?"
And Frank said, I'm
That-
against
that's
it.
been around
Why?
No, that's
He
not what I
said,
said.
"I'm against." Oh, you're against.
Oh, he said, I don't get it. Yeah,
McDonald's,
yeah.
Yeah.
but You are
You're
okay
pro
with
cancer-sniffing
genetically-
dogs?
Genetically formulated dogs. They're not robots.
I'm just saying,
They're like formulated to smell cancer.
Right,
They get
it's
little
like-
treats.
okay. So
It's like the drug dogs.
Yeah,
So it's
same
okay.
principle.
Yeah.
But
wait,
like, it's good.
So they don't put dog on his table and we can rebuild him and make
No,
him.
no.
Is that really what you think breeding is like? Like
You thought they
we
make
don't-
that $6 million
Okay,
dog?
First of all, what breed of dog can just
Chihuahua.
sniff cancer?
Any
Shut
dog.
up. No, that's a lie.
German Shepherd?
So there's a whole video on it that we watched earlier today,
Oh.
and they like literally sit in this
Who
little
is we?
like merry-go-round. Me and my cat.
That's why I asked. I knew that would be a good response.
I was supposed. She sent me outside. Just so you know.
That's believable.
Chris
That-
is taking out the trash, and so here's the thing. So then they're like on this little
Nothing good
merry-go-round.
has ever come from here. It's
and they go in a circle and they have different hormones and what are those
Hormones.
things that
Thank
come
you.
out of your
Hormones.
like armpit?
What? Pheromone?
Yo.
Pheromones.
That's what they just said.
And so I
We
heard
all
hormones.
said that at the exact same time.
Well, that's
Phero-
okay.
what? Sorry.
Pheromones.
So then that happened. All right, well.
So
do
they're
you
not
guys really
building.
care about this?
They're not
Just,
building
let,
robot
just to
dogs.
let you know,
I
there's
care.
a ton of dogs outside right now at the McDonald's. They want to get in here.
That's what I
for some
thought was
reason.
happening. Like people were just like kidnapping dogs on the street
Let me-
and then just like
Now James
No, I
Drake
think
is
they
taking off
adopt
his
them
shirt.
from
What are you
shelters.
doing, dude?
Let me
You're in the middle
explain
of
something real
McDonald's.
quick.
Why are you taking your shirt off
Let me
right
explain
now?
something real quick. If you guys are hearing background noises, it's because we do not have the luxury of the play place tonight. So we had to record in the main dining room.
I went and asked. I
Did you
went.
say the main dining room?
Yeah.
This is
Oh
the
my
main.
What
God.
else are you gonna
What?
call
This
it?
is the Grand Hall. And over there in the east
I,
is
That
Oh my
East Wing,
goodness.
West Wing.
I went.
South
I
the
went
East Wing gets a really nice sun.
Just wait your turn, Chris.
I'm waiting.
Just wait your
Dude,
turn.
I'm so polite. I'm podcast polite. No, I went and asked if we could use the play place just for recording, and they said no. We close the play place after 9 o'clock.
Which we know is bullshit.
Why?
Because last week we recorded at like 10.
Past 11.
Yeah, we recorded at 11.
It
So
was
they
quite
I didn't
changed.
say that in
This
the podcast.
podcast changed the rules. I wonder if this is a new rule nationwide.
I think what happened, what people on the podcast don't know, is I got stuck in the play place last week after we were done recording.
That also did
Not
happen.
stuck enough that we had to call the fire department or anything.
Hey,
Just
we-
stuck enough that I had to pull you
Yeah,
out.
Jay-
The
sma-
smallest person had to
Smallest
pull you out.
person had to
So you guys were all in the ball pit.
Yeah.
No, Tony
But
wasn't.
the lights were on.
Tony was recording.
No, I was recording from
Yeah,
outside.
he was recording.
Conveniently, Ball Pit is also the name of my car. That is the ball.
So you guys didn't record in the ball pit?
No, they
No.
don't have
There
a
is no
pit.
ball pit. It's illegal.
Ball pits are illegal.
Yeah, they're illegal.
You don't know
There's
that?
no blood.
Because they found little heroin needles in them.
Oh,
Wait,
is
what?
that?
Oh,
Wait,
snakes.
that's new.
And snakes.
It was definitely snakes.
Yeah,
Oh,
they-
I think
Yeah.
they
Wait,
were
wait,
snakes.
wait.
Yeah, you're
wait,
right.
that's
Who
where all,
put snakes in the ball pit?
Who doesn't?
Samuel Jackson.
yeah.
Snakes
If you would have watched last
I'm tired.
week's episode,
Yeah.
that was a callback.
you would have known.
Is that so?
I did watch last
maybe,
week's episode, and I understood that callback.
All right.
Maybe
Bravo.
the ball
Well
pit,
played.
all the ball pit, maybe McDonald's donated all the balls to the shade for all the reservoirs
Ooh, the
for
black
the
balls.
drought. Yeah,
Yeah,
all the black
they-
balls are from
What
here.
are you guys
Yeah,
talking
they
You don't know
they
about that?
float all the balls.
Frank's not very
Frank's a
educated.
Durham
Frank's
Rock.
not.
So that's
Don't know about
okay.
cancer sniffing out
Yes.
dogs. Don't know about the black ball
That's
thing.
because
Jeez,
he
Frank.
works at
They-
Hot Topic
all-
and you don't
yeah.
have to be educated. To
You
First
should
of all-
know because
first
they're all
of
black
all-
balls. Like that's super emo. That's like
Frank, read a book.
First of all, I'm not into anal beads.
Well, they
First of all,
black
we weren't
balls.
talking about anal beads.
well, no,
You
he
said
said
black
black
balls.
balls, so that's like.
That's something else.
James obviously has never seen an anal bead.
Yeah,
You didn't
James
watch
has
the video
it's
of
touchy
them
subject
rolling
for
like
James.
how many was it, like 10,000 balls or was
Yeah,
it more like
they-
100,000?
Millions.
I don't know. It was
Yeah.
a ton
I
of.
haven't seen anything on,
It's
on
like,
Facebook all
it
day.
was like those. It was like the
That's on
balls from the ball
news.
pit, and they roll them out down into the fucking water. so
Reservoir near LA.
The sun.
All the
doesn't
reservoirs.
Make the water.
Oh,
fucking
like
evaporate.
okay.
It
So
prevents
black balls.
evaporation.
So did every black person just get like
No.
indicted? No.
Indicted.
That-
Way wrong.
Chris'
That's
theory
not
is
even
that
close, Frank.
They
Took all the-
legalized or they made it illegal to have ball pits so they can do this project.
That's right.
You know what? I'm
100%.
Another
Conspiracy.
solid. This
All
is
right.
Percy Kahn speaking at this point. Yeah.
So do we have any actual conspiracy theorists among us?
All right here.
Yeah.
But don't say that on Facebook because there's people on Facebook that don't like conspiracy.
What are you? What are you
Well, no,
against?
that's a
What do you?
list
What do you conspire? What do you conspire?
Oh, everything.
I don't think we landed on the.
Do you think?
I'm gonna agree. I don't think we landed.
No,
on the
really. If you think about it, like
just
it
McFacts.
happened a weekend. We did it in a weekend. You know
It
what
takes
I
a
mean?
day to get there.
It took a day to get there. It took like 6 weeks to send a rocket there. That was like a third the size. How did it take 3 days? I mean,
you
I'm
saying-
not. I'm
'Cause
not.
they had figured it out
I'm
by
not
then.
educated. I don't read.
You figured it out by then.
I'm just saying.
You don't McRead.
That's how technology works.
Are you saying that it took the same amount of time for me to drive from here to San Francisco to get to the moon? Is that
Yeah,
what you're
First
telling
of
me
all, it
right
only
now?
takes 8 hours.
But in a rocket ship.
You know, can you stop disproving my?
Yeah, seriously,
James,
man.
Really? Like really?
You know what happened? They went up. They were like in sort of in the gravity field, just floating around like a satellite, and then they went around one time, and they came back, and then bam, there they were.
I thought they landed, or well.
No, that's all. It's all conjecture.
It's all congestion.
Do you think like
It's
What
all
is this
congestion, you know.
congestion?
What do you guys think about the Titanic being a conspiracy?
Oh, I saw
Wait, why would that be a conspiracy
Ooh,
though?
first, who was
because
that?
That movie was shitty.
The movie.
Factual.
I love
The
it.
conspiracy
Let's do this.
is that since there were so many rich people,
Excuse me, we have some rude people in the dining room. Let's
Yeah.
wait for them to stop
Uh,
laughing.
Ooh, I like this.
because there were so many
Inappropriate
rich people there,
teenagers.
like they had planned the course to run into an iceberg, or just crash the ship on something
To kill rich people?
to kill the bunch, like
But
all
what
the
would
rich
that
people.
do?
No,
No,
What would that-
no.
wrong.
That's
They're
not
wrong.
true.
That's not true.
That's
no.
not true.
No,
I
this
read
is
this, like,
exact.
seven-
no,
Everybody
I
yell
just,
at James.
I just watched this.
Yo.
James, you're
Did you guys just
Wow.
watch something on it?
Yeah,
100%
I just
wrong.
watched
Then
the
inform me and correct
Send
me.
them the link.
Please, Chris,
No,
let
no,
us
what
know.
This is
happened
like a
was-
vague memory.
They went
Send
the
the
wrong
link.
way.
No,
Yeah.
they
On
went.
purpose.
No, they went to crash the Titanic for insurance purposes, but
Correct.
they didn't realize that so many people would die. So it turned into a massacre,
And they veered left
insurance-wise.
instead of right, where the boats were waiting for them to rescue them when they
Well,
crashed.
that's right. That part's true. Yes, they planned it wrong, so many people died, and that's the end. You
So
can
they
look
had
it up.
boats
Just
waiting
You
for
know,
them
that's
and
fair
they
enough, because how
It's
do you
on
miss
YouTube.
an
But
iceberg?
how does that
Like, it's a fucking
pan out? Because, I mean,
There's even
They were
pictures.
so-
There's even pictures of the ships next to each other
Really?
being built at the same time. Yeah.
Well, and the life
And there's
preservers
paperwork.
couldn't find
Paperwork
the people.
beyond
The
paperwork.
lifeboats couldn't find the people because the GPS had broken off, so they were supposed to crash in a certain place and they didn't.
are you telling me they had GPS?
Also, there was no GPS back then.
Yeah, it was like,
At the
radar.
time.
Yeah,
Well,
they
they
have
had
Tom
radar.
Tom?
radio. Well, I
Radar.
don't know.
Not
They had
radio
radio.
either.
Not
Nope.
stuff.
No, they had the moon
mean
Morse code.
and whales.
All the dot
They had the
stuff.
North
You're telling
Star.
me
Yeah.
Aquaman wasn't there communicating to the fish to tell the people on
yeah, I
land
heard the
about
noise.
It sounds like
The
Darude
dot, dot,
Sandstorm
dot.
underwater.
Yeah.
That's all it is, just Darude
The
Sandstorm.
dolphins can come to save people.
The Illuminati.
Yeah, they put all the hippies in the
So,
front
do
to
you
find all the
think-
dolphins.
This might get kind of real. Do you think have you seen Zeitgeist?
Yeah.
The movie? Okay.
yeah.
So, anyone else seen
No.
that movie?
I have.
Maybe
So,
Tony.
conspiracy movie.
What did it tell?
The
Yeah.
9/11 thing.
Okay.
It says that 9/11 was a conspiracy because like the beams were cut and like
Yeah, inside job.
inside
the
job.
hot
and all
enough
that.
to
The
burn
real
steel.
question is, can autism melt steel beams? That's can we?
No, but
It
jet
depends on
fuel
what
can.
kind of paint they have for the steel.
Maybe this was faulty steel.
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe
it's
they
not
got it
real.
from
It
Mexico.
was-
You gotta play the devil's advocate.
The dumbest thing like Rosie O'Donnell said, it can't be a conspiracy because you can't cut steel. That was a direct. How does she
can't do
think
it.
it comes out of the ground in perfect girders? Like, is that what she thinks? Like,
You're telling me there aren't girder trees?
yeah, like,
Quick question: Rosie O'Donnell's still alive?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Sadly,
Well, she said that back when.
shot
He's
fired,
still only
Rosie
like
O'Donnell.
50 so.
Get at us.
Your move.
If you guys want to tweet at us, you can tweet at us at the McDonald's Podcast, Mickey DP Podcast, just full title.
Yeah.
Did you really make the Twitter?
No, not yet.
But we
Hashtag
should,
it.
We
Don't
should.
add
I'm
it.
sorry. We should, so we can totally sell it to
Oh,
them
yeah.
later.
Yeah, McDonald's Podcast.
This podcast is brought to you not by McDonald's, surprisingly enough.
Surprisingly,
Jack in the
But it
Box,
should be.
surprisingly.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Back in the Box is a good idea. I like that place better. They don't hurt the animals as much.
As much. So
As
you're
much.
fine.
As much.
So you're fine with a little.
I
So
think
you're a
it's-
hypocrite, is
like
what you're
this.
saying.
Oh gosh, no.
if that's what we're gonna base it off of, then we should just go to
Guys.
Chipotle.
Yeah, I saw something on a
Internet.
no, not on the internet. It was on a box or something. It was like a
The box of the internet.
It might have been cereal.
Porn
no, it wasn't cereal.
magazine.
Something that used eggs.
Porn.
Porn.
You
Porn.
use eggs?
Porn. Got it.
100%
Used
porn.
eggs,
Don't you
and it
want
was
to
like
school this?
non-caged eggs. I was like, why do you guys need
They're
to cage
free
eggs?
range.
No, but yeah, they're free range. I mean, they
But
get
even
warm
free
around.
range is
Eggs
caged,
can't
they're
walk
still-
Let me ask you guys
Well,
this.
maybe
I'm changing
not
the
your
subject
niece,
because
but,
really no one cares
like-
about eggs. While I
It's
got
true,
all you
though.
guys
Well,
here.
no, we have a female at the table, and she has
She
eggs.
cares about
so-
eggs.
Oh, that's a good point. Tell us all about your eggs. Women
They're
always
doing good
talking
right
about
now.
their eggs.
That's good.
Like, I don't know if you know this, but
good to
eggs
know.
are actually sponsoring cancer-smelling dogs. Like,
That
it's a
they
real
are.
thing.
And it's come full circle. New topic.
Hashtag callback or Mick callback.
Well, I
I
got-
believe you were trying to bring up a new
I
topic.
was. Well, I got all you guys here. Let me ask, why did you guys become stand-up comedians? James, you first. Why did you want to become we're all stand-up comedians. We always forget to mention that at the top. But
Yeah.
It's all factual.
I don't know. I've been doing stage stuff for majority of my life. and
Uh-huh.
What do you mean by stage stuff?
What
Stage
does that
stuff?
mean?
Like interpretive
Black
dance?
porn.
Yeah.
Are you one of those
Definitely.
cock magic guys?
Cock magic?
Wait, what
Yeah, like
year-
the guys in
Alright.
Australia that
Alright.
can turn their dicks into like koala bears and
Wait,
No.
that's a
sailboats.
real
That
thing.
Dude, you
sounds
should
amazing.
totally
That's
do
a-
that.
I should
Fucking
invest
thing.
though.
Yeah.
I mean, it's-
James,
Learn how to do
what
that
year did you first step on a stage and tell jokes in front of an audience that wasn't your
And why did you do it? Back to the original.
I was about
Why?
6, and
On a
they
stage in a
on a
bar?
stage, not in a bar. It was
Where?
at like a. I was
Check
part
your
of
keys.
Indian
So
Guides.
you've been doing this 14 years, dude.
Yeah, 14
Dude,
years.
you
bad.
should.
Get better.
You should be a lot better than
And I did. So did the big fat lady jokes.
Oh, I did the balloon pop.
Yes. I did those, and that's when it all started.
You've been doing that
You've been doing
steadily.
I've been
for
doing.
years.
So did the fat
What?
lady jokes for years.
He asked steadily stand-up comedy.
in front of like
You
Steadily
started
stand-up-
when you were 6, steadily doing it.
steadily.
Why aren't you
Every
better?
year.
Why aren't you a champion of something?
Yeah, you should be
I
a
don't know.
prodigy.
I like how you said of something. Like, I just stand.
I mean, like,
I am underground.
All right, back to the question. Why did you want to start
when did
though?
I s-
Nobody cares
All
about
right,
your
Harriet
fat
Tubman.
lady jokes.
What are you, a Hollow Earth believer?
I don't know. I just thought it would be fun, and then I started doing it.
It's a number answer. What year?
What year?
Did you
What year?
start doing
Stand-up-
comedy?
Okay.
Stand-up comedy.
What year did I start doing stand-up comedy? What year is it? 2015? 2014.
Oh, okay.
2014.
All right,
Thank you.
Christopher Keith Tyler. We're gonna.
2009.
We'll all be civil. We'll all be civil. Why did you start?
Why? 'Cause
Yes.
People were telling me like, I would
Classic
go to
response.
I would go to parties or groups, and it got to the point where I would tell my stories, and people were like, "Do you do stand-up?" I'm like, "No, I don't." And they're like, "You should." And I was like, "All right, I'm scared to death of the stage, and I'm not going to go to an open mic at some bar and just no. I'll take a class."
Yeah.
So I drove to Santa. I found one for $300 in Santa Monica at the Promenade Mall. I took a class for 5 weeks, once a week, and the last class, the 5th week, was I took it because for $300 on the 5th week, you get 7 minutes at the Hollywood Improv. And so I was like, dude, for the first time, 7 minutes at an improv, it was dope. So I took it, and the teacher hated me the entire time. The 4th week, I almost quit because I didn't think he would ask. Like, my first joke I ever tried was I went on stage and I opened up one of those giant Red Bulls and I just drank the whole thing. And I thought that was funny.
Solid joke.
Solid, dude. Wow.
I just wanted to
How
do
did that
it.
bit not kill?
Yeah.
And he's like, you drove from Lake Elsinore to here to do that? You're terrible. And I'm like, no, well then teach me, help me.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm like, you're just after, and I
He
got
just
it all
looked
on
at
tape.
you. You're
I had it
beyond
all on
help,
tape.
Chris.
Yeah.
You are beyond.
You're
You're out of it, Keith Tyler.
The 3rd week, and I have it all on audio. This guy hated me, and there was only like 5 of us in the room. It was a small room, and the last week, or the 4th week, I was gonna quit, and a magician that was in the class, who was trying to get him to stand up. He's like, you know what he's not telling you is premise act out. Just do premise act out. Formulate your jokes around that. So I was like, okay. So then the 4th week I went back and I got the teacher and some of the students laughing. And in the 5th week, the night of the show, we get there and the teacher was like, okay, this is totally random. The selection, no favoritism or anything, but Chris, you're gonna go first. I was like, oh wow, okay, that was weird. And then and the place was packed, and I was scared. And he had the host was like G-rated, like straight up for kids.
I feel
and he
you.
was doing good, and I was like, oh my god, because my whole set was like poop and like dick jokes. It was just really
Did you blame
nasty.
somebody else that went up earlier that night, or no? Oh, okay. Oh,
Just
okay.
blame the host
No,
for
but
everything.
I went up on stage and I said, I was terrified, and I said, I'm gonna break the ice with some shit. And like everyone started laughing, and I was like, oh shit, like, and I just kept going with it, and it went well. And after the show, during the other students, they weren't doing very good. He came up to me and he's like, he wouldn't even look at me. He was just like, just want to let you know it was an interesting turnout. And then he turned and walked away. And he will still, to this day, will not friend me on Facebook. And I've sent him private messages for the last few years saying, thank you for everything you taught me. I appreciate everything. And I just want to let you know everything's still going. And I'm the only student in the class that's still doing it. So I'm like, thank you. And he just probably hates me. But anyways,
I wonder
someday,
how much of the money he got for teaching the class.
Not
most
enough.
$300 per student. And
No,
there's
I know.
5
How
of
much
us.
does he get paid to do it? Or where was it at?
The Santa Monica Promenade Mall strip. It was in a studio, and there was like this. They were doing there was like this little classroom with theaters. You could practice theater stuff. So, anyways,
That's a far drive, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a drive and a half.
To do stand up?
yeah. Well, that's what I wanted to do at the Hollywood Improv. The 7-minute thing. That's what got me.
Well,
So-
that was a fantastic answer.
Thank you.
Tony Bowers, where
Very
did you
inspiring
start?
Story.
What year and why?
I'm gonna go James style. And when I was a wee
the right way to
boy,
When I was in the womb, people told me
I did a burp joke in 3rd grade where I burped in the middle of reading a paragraph, and everybody died laughing, and I got in trouble, sent to the principal, and I was like, oh yeah,
That's it.
But I watched comedy my whole life, and I started doing it in like junior year of high school for my class. When my teacher was like, whatever, do whatever you want, I would grab he had a microphone to read the books, and I would do Dave Chappelle's jokes, and I would steal all his jokes, and I would do them all, and everybody laughed, and I was like, man, I like doing this. And I did it for the talent show, and that was my first time.
That's cool.
So in 7th, but then I went 5 years without doing it.
I wish I
a little bit of a wait.
I had no
not as long
idea
as the wait is
that
mine.
this was a thing though. I didn't know that bars were doing it. I didn't like as soon as Aces opened up, I was like, oh yeah, I wanted to do that. And so
yeah, that
that's
dream
when
I
I
had.
started. Yeah, exactly.
I wish I would have
I
started
wish I
at
would
your
have.
age.
Yeah.
Solid
I
answer.
didn't start.
Fair enough.
Frank Martinez.
So I started last year, so 2014.
Yeah.
So yeah, I started 2014. It's funny, I had no idea I wanted to do stand up. Like I had always loved stand up. I remember like listening to it as a kid, like just George Lopez tapes and Paulo Francisco and Dayton Cook and like, all these comics. I would sit there and just memorize their jokes. I remember that. And 2014 was the year where I started podcasting. And a friend of mine kept bugging me because I'd been talking about I wanted to develop different techniques about talking and in front of people and different things. And somebody was like, "Hey, dude, I'm gonna go do the open mic at Aces Comedy Club. you want to come with me? I'm like, yeah. I was like, that's kind of cool. And I thought I was gonna have like a month to prepare for it, and I had like a week. And so I wrote a 5 minutes, and like after that first time, it was just done. I was like, I'm addicted. Done. I want to feel this every day of my life. Like,
cool.
It's crazy.
I wasn't listening. Can you repeat all
No,
of
go
it?
for it. Fuck you. You were there.
I was next. Yeah.
You were there.
Yeah. Frank. I'll ask Brandon, and I'll go into mine. Brandon, go ahead. Cool. So the reason I wanted to start was... Just kidding, go ahead.
If we're gonna go around the circle, Will's next.
Go
Me
ahead,
and
no,
Chris
no, go
both
ahead.
remember Brandon's first time doing stand-up.
Let's let Brandon tell the story, and then
Yeah,
you guys tell how
yeah, you guys
accurate
can
it
tell
was.
it from your point of view. I'll tell it from my
I
own.
remember.
I remember.
Alright.
You were the host.
Brandon,
Oh,
go
no,
ahead.
Everyone's pointing at me right now.
Christopher
Brandon, go
Keith
ahead.
Tyler was the host of the Shamrock right across the street. Back when I started this
What year was this?
2 years ago.
2013.
I'm just fucking with you guys.
When you
No one
started
knows
the
what year it
Shamrock.
is for some reason. No.
I had just turned 21. I just started drinking, so I had no tolerance. And I wish my story was better, like I had some expiring shit. I did this because I was drunk off my ass. That's why I started doing this. And I'd go up to Chris drunk. I'm like, hey dude, hey, I want to give this a shot. And Chris was like, yes, this is gonna happen. Let's go. So,
What's funny
sorry-
is
I'm
the way
starting
we
to
remember
remember.
it
Yeah,
is
I'm
that
remembering
you
something
came up and
different.
was like, I can do this. And then, so,
That's more
like,
accurate.
yeah.
More
so-
believable.
Yeah. And you came up, yeah, and so Chris was like, oh, this is this guy's first time. I'm
okay,
gonna
let me tell this. No,
Yeah.
no, no.
Okay.
Chris goes up and he's like, okay, this next guy coming up, this is his first time. And so Chris tells the story of losing his virginity, which is a horrible
When I was
story.
15.
Oh my God, this was that night.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
That's
And then
intense.
after an
Let's hear
intense
Brandon.
Yeah,
I
let's
want to
hear
hear
Brandon
how.
out. Yeah.
I want to hear
Podcast
how I
etiquette.
ruined you.
Podcast.
This was like the worst story I've ever heard in my life. Chris tells.
Oh, okay.
And then he's like,
Levels.
yeah, and speaking of first time, this is this guy's first time. Give it up for Brandon Hastings.
Solid
He
transition.
pronounces my name wrong,
Well,
by
that's
the
my
way.
job. I'm the host.
Yeah.
Solid transition though, like high five, like that was first time to first time respect. Like that was good.
I was trying to prepare
It was funny
everybody.
because I knew what was happening as it like he told me because I was just happened to be at the table and he told me, so I sat there like I was like, oh yes, he's doing it.
I
Ruin his
love
life.
watching first timers. So I just want to.
Yeah, it's the best.
And I'm glad that you came back week after week after that happened. I was like, man, actually he's really into it. So
It was a
it
pretty
was
intense
cool to
night.
see you do that. After being, because most times when guys come up like that, like asshole, like type, I can do this.
Yeah.
Oh, we want you to eat shit and die, please.
That's fair enough, because my memory stops the second I stepped on stage.
Oh yeah, you did. I remember
Everything
the
after
jokes
that
you
is
did.
just black.
What I remember you doing, Brandon, was you went up on stage and you harassed all the girls.
Yes.
That's what
That sounds
happened.
like
This
me.
is true.
You were harassing
does
all
that.
the
That
girls.
sounds like drunk Brandon.
I sort of broke it in for him by talking about losing virginity, and
That's
so
fair.
he thought, oh, well, I'll just like,
Brandon's nickname
yeah,
is
break
the
these
friend
girls
zone.
up.
He was
Yeah.
So
like,
that's where it started.
yeah.
Is that the same night
That's
the crazy
fair.
guy
Completely
was there?
fair.
No,
No.
I don't think so.
Oh,
I don't
yeah,
know.
you kept
No, I
talking
think
about
that's
your
the same
sisters and yeah, and then you guys are bitches like my sisters.
That's great.
I totally see myself doing that.
I want to see that.
I
Brandon.
have no
Yeah.
memory of that,
Brandon.
but I'm sure
The
it
Brandon
happened.
we have now is just a shadow of that once confident man.
For some reason, he stopped drinking after that. So like, he needs to get
I
back
wonder
on the
why.
wagon and start knocking it out.
Drunk
All right.
Brandon's
Let's hear Will. Will,
Colin,
tell
it's
us.
your turn.
also-
Mick Will.
Mick Will.
Mick Will.
I also started in 2014. Frank and I started on the same night.
Yes.
It was
but
magical.
The reason I started though was because like when I was a kid I realized I was ugly. So I realized with women I didn't have a good long game. So if I could get them in close, then they're mine. So I developed my humor. That's solid strategy for a 6-year-old.
Yeah, for a 6-year-old, that's like legitimate.
Props to you
That's
for
well
knowing
thought
what
out.
that is.
Yeah.
I know my limits at
All right.
6. Like
That's
I'm
good.
What kind of pussy were you trying to get at 6, man?
All
you
of it.
needed a belt.
all of it.
That's a
All of it.
good-looking
Calvin.
7-year-old.
That had some
goatee.
serious game for a
So then,
6-year-old.
Right?
so I was just always funny. And then, like, growing up, the only thing, like, memories I have with my mom are, like, we would sit... She's not dead or anything. I made it sound like she died. But she's still fully alive. Loved me. Great woman. But we would, like, Saturday Night Live. She showed me Saturday Night Live and, like, SNL and Ghostbusters. And, like, she was like, oh, they're all stand-up comedians. So it's, like, my entire life, they were just like, do this, do this, do this. And then I was like, fuck it, I'm funny. So in 7th grade, we had to write about what our dream was that we wanted to do. So I wrote, I want to be a stand-up comedian. So every day since 7th grade, this is all I've wanted to do.
Oh, I'm
Nice.
jealous.
That's
I wish I would have known.
Yeah, I wish I had known
Yeah,
this in
and
7th
now,
grade.
and now I'm in it, and I want to do anything else.
I was always a class clown, but I never thought like, oh,
See,
I could actually.
yeah.
do
See,
I
this.
wasn't. I was
Yeah.
the guy in the back of the room making fun of the class clown, like, really, it's fucking idiot? Like, you think
See,
it's funny to swallow chalk and
That's only
shit?
because
I
you're
wasn't even that
smart
guy.
and
I was
you're
just
No,
the
that's
guy in
not
the
a
back
class
sitting
clown.
there
That's a
quietly.
guy
He'd be
who-
like, don't look at me, don't look at me, don't look at me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was like Frank, you know. No,
No, what's funny, you guys compare it to school. My dad has 12 brothers and sisters, so I have 26,000 cousins.
Because you're
You're,
Mexican.
I am
your last name's Martinez, we all assume.
Exactly. So all my family is all
You're
super
not
funny.
white?
Yeah, I know, right? The complexion.
gosh.
My family, they're all really funny people, and they're all really like just like they snipe at you with like disses and comebacks and whatnot. And I'm the slowest of all of them. So like to normal people, I'm fairly funny. So
First step to healing is admitting you have a problem.
yeah. So that's like you guys have those experiences. I have my cousins coming up to me, just be like, "What's up, fag?" Like every day
Oh, yeah.
for
That's
years.
perfect.
I know, right? Like perfect.
See, I was the guy that would walk up to you like, sup, fag. That was me. That's
See, that was
And
my
that was an
sisters.
Yeah.
And then I would just start eating chalk.
No, I was the guy that would have came up and said, "High five, dude," and then be
Yeah.
like, "Hey, you got like 50 cents?"
And then he's like, then give me the 50 cents.
the story of mine and Frank's first time, though. I'll say how I remember it.
I like
That
how you
sounds
phrased
so
that.
dirty.
I know, right? I was like,
It's-
it was. Oh my god, it was such a great night.
Frank and Will
you guys
have a very special
You guys
relationship.
both lost your virginity too. At
Yeah,
the same
same.
time.
He went
That
on
night,
two
that
people
night.
before me. We were at an open mic at Ace's Comedy Club, and he brought his friend. So they had 3 people lined up behind the stage. So Frank's there, and the person's going up, and then his friend's there, and I'm there. And Frank looks at me and he goes, "I'm nervous."
No, because I was like, I had never been on stage, like in front of. Well, I have. Actually, it's funny. A few months prior, I had talked at like a church. My uncle was getting married. I did like the reading or whatever. And I'm just like, and God said, like it was so much worse.
So he looks at me and he goes, "I'm nervous." And I go, "Yeah, I can tell you're pacing back and forth." And he goes, "'Cause I'm nervous." And I go, "You've solidified it, man."
Nice.
And then
It was-
I think you asked me if I'm nervous, and I
Yeah.
said no, not at all, because I'm amazing.
No.
No, what did I say?
Right, no, you said that, but like right before.
Because he's a cocky son
Right,
of a
right
bitch.
before you went up, though, you're like, "Oh man, I am nervous." I was like, "That's right, bitch. That's right."
And then Frank went up. He did a joke about I remember
my
his
first
opener.
joke.
I remember his opener so vividly.
Which actually I came up with right before I went up on stage. I had a different opener. I changed it. 'cause I
He
liked it.
he went up on stage and he's like, "Hey, sis, how's it going?" And everyone clapped. He's like, "This is my first time. I wanted to find a club to do comedy right. It was gonna hold me after and just make me feel like I was special to it." Which is solid. That's a good open. That's a good first
Good
joke.
I
opener.
remember because I was sitting in the lobby, and it was different. You know, had the couches everywhere, and I was just sitting there, and I was like, "Man, this is my first comedy club. This is crazy," you know. And I was like, what would a virgin think at their very first moment? And so I was like, I always want someone to hold me after. So
And then he talked about hand crank dildos for 3 minutes. And when,
Oh yeah, I
I still-
remember.
I
and
still
when
do
I'm
that.
out of material
It's
and
not-
walked
okay.
off stage.
No,
Like it
whatever.
wasn't even
No, I did-
refined
I did a
either.
full
It was
five.
just
did you?
this.
I did a full
All
5
new
that night.
comics start out so dirty.
No, I think
It's
it's
like you
because
guys.
Because that's the
because
easiest.
it's
Yeah,
dirty,
that's
you
where
guys
our
start
brains
out
go.
so
Yeah, I still
dirty.
did
I
that
did
joke.
not go dirty though, just so you know.
I
No,
don't
you did the
expect
rape
you
joke.
to.
No, I did the rape joke my second time because the first.
What?
Yeah.
The first. You've
Oh
heard
my
my rape joke.
goodness.
You've
Oh.
heard- where my girlfriend yells rape when
Oh,
we're around.
yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not a rape joke. It's a
It's not-
joke that
he
I love
doesn't
rapey.
rape people.
Yeah.
You've heard my dildo.
Let's
joke.
get that
No,
straight.
I
He
still do
Will
it.
does not
Um,
rape people.
Okay.
It's not like
See,
it's not
I
as
don't
dirty
think
as some
it's
of the
that
people.
dirty. I think hearing it the way that you guys just described it
Yeah.
sounds very
I went up and I talked about
a little much.
because I didn't know what to call myself because there's a famous DJ in Europe named Will Holland, so I didn't want to compete with him like famous wise right away. I wanted to ease into it a little bit.
No, yeah, there's a violinist, man. That's Tony Bowers, that son of a bitch.
And like, so
Actually,
I
I'm gonna get him to open for me.
Yeah.
Tony Bowers opening for Tony Bowers.
I would go to that shit.
Yeah, I watched
my first time I spoke about like how dumb names are, and the only joke I remember from it was that I want to change my last name to Anthonym so I can name my son Chris. And if you don't get that joke, you're
Anthonym?
For the record, I love that joke.
Thank you.
Like to this day.
if you don't get that joke, you're stupid and I hate you.
I always take offense to it.
Chris.
Every time.
Let me. Oh man.
To this day, I love that joke. I'm not
Thank you
gonna
so
lie.
much.
Like, it's
Thank
great.
you so much. That was fun. Let me ask you guys. Oh, go ahead.
No, go.
So obviously we all we all want to be famous comedians, except James. He wants to be something else.
Michael Cera.
Michael Cera.
That's it.
Michael
What's the-
Cera.
what's Michael Cera?
What
Exactly.
have you put any thought into what your first comedy album is going to be named? James, what's yours?
Mother Nature hates me.
James Drake, Mother Nature
That's
hates me.
dope.
That's
Fair
solid.
enough.
I
Yeah,
like
that's
it.
good.
I'm jealous.
Chris, what about? Oh, James is also very short and has a tremor.
Yeah.
To put it does hate
very
him.
fitting.
Perspective.
Yeah, like why does that make sense?
James or Chris, go ahead.
I don't know actually.
Would you like us to do a round table?
Yeah,
Come
yeah,
back.
yeah,
All
yeah.
right.
Give me a minute.
Tony Bowers.
It's, Tony Bowers ain't that special, and it works on multiple levels.
Yeah. Because it's
Because it's like, 'cause you can say it like Tony Bowers ain't that special, or it's like Tony Bowers ain't that special.
That's cool.
And so I
Nice
want
double.
it
works.
Yeah,
That's
it's a
good.
double. Yeah.
Especially if it ends in like a special.
And then also specials in the name
yeah,
of
like
the.
you.
So it's gonna
Yeah.
be Tony Bowers ain't that special.
Yeah.
Which
Which now
again.
makes
Works
it
again,
now makes
yeah.
me retarded. a
another
little bit.
whole nother level.
He ain't that special.
He's just special.
Oh yeah, air quotes on the
Yeah.
second special there.
You guys can't see it.
Frank Martinez, what's yours? Do you want us to do a round? Because there's only two
Yeah,
other people.
well, I have one. The,
You-
thing, the one I had always thought was it's called
There's
Frank
no wrong
Martinez.
answers here.
I know, right? It's a sin vergüenza, which is without embarrassment in
Oh
Spanish.
yeah, I wouldn't go with
So that's
that.
the
Yeah,
that's
that's
the-
horrible
Immediately
answer.
I see that in Walmart and I go next.
But that was like my first initial thought ever when I first started doing comedy. I was like, that's what I'm gonna call it. But I don't know. I always thought it'd be funny to do Mexicans mow my lawn too. Like something stupid like
that's
that.
good.
That's not
Yeah,
bad.
that's
not bad.
Brandon
That's a
Hasty.
fun 30 minutes.
It's definitely not an hour.
Brandon Hasty.
I would think I was gonna go with damaged, not broken.
Can you call yours like? What
Why
was
not?
that?
Can you call it
Right,
rhinoceros?
Why not?
Yeah.
Brandon Hiskey, rhinoceros.
We kept on waiting for you to build up to say the girl. Oh yeah, this is. We wanted you to say it again to the girl.
I said earlier, you guys have no context clues.
Are you gonna put a damaged sticker on your forehead, like?
Yeah, that would be the
Right
that would be
there.
the album
Damaged,
cover.
not broken.
Yeah.
Like
Album
one of those
cover?
stickers that says "My name is," and then
Yeah,
it'll say
damaged.
All right, Chris, back to you.
Oh, I was thinking alone and scared.
Oh.
Scared alone or something on stage, like
Yeah.
something about like being
No,
on
that's
stage.
good.
Because
That's
on
deep.
stage, I'm always just to
Yeah,
let you
you're
know
alone.
that every time I'm on stage, it is terrifying. Every single time.
You think so?
Yeah,
Like,
I'm always scared.
I
every
get like
time.
a rush right beforehand. Like I feel nervous at first, and then it turns into no, I got this. Like I used to play football, and it reminds me of that feeling of right before you, like you're walking out on the field. That's exactly what that rush of just like shit's about to go
I
down.
literally
tunnel.
black
Yeah.
out. I black out, and I have to audio record myself. I don't remember what happens. It's crazy. It's just a rush, but it's
Just a
such a
backspace.
rush. It's like
Yeah.
that blackout high.
There really isn't
Yeah.
any.
Yeah.
There isn't any feeling like it in the world.
No.
At
No,
all.
at all.
Well,
you
cocaine?
can't really just.
No.
Cocaine.
That's why I do the drug joke.
I mean, that's
Yeah.
close, but
I do mean
that
that.
joke
I
is
think
very
that's why
fitting.
comics get into a lot of like drugs like that because
So what I want to name mine is.
Let's finish this topic. It's gonna go back to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's gonna be called Will Holland. It's my turn.
Hey, no, but the thing about it, that's a solid name.
Hey,
Yeah.
I
I'm better at naming them.
Mine is
I'm a
going to
better
be
writer.
Will Holland comedy. If Pauly Shore can do it, I can do
You're
it.
such an asshole. I've been saying that forever.
Okay, for the record, he also has his next 6 albums
Yeah, my
planned out after
entire
that.
the rest of my album it's gonna be first one's gonna be comedy. If Pauly Shore can do it, I can do it. Second one's gonna be seriously, fuck you, Pauly Shore. the third one is gonna be I'm kidding, Pauly Shore is a pretty cool guy. The fourth one's gonna be like, no, seriously though, fuck Pauly Shore, am I right?
Am I right?
Such an asshole.
The fifth one's gonna be like, okay, Pauly Shore was pretty good in Encino Man, I'll admit it. My entire
I
like how that's the one you
use
picked.
his name in your album.
No, you can use names.
I like Will Holland. Am I right?
Am I right?
Am I right?
Am I right?
Well, actually, it's probably going to be called Will Holland. When there's a me, there's a way.
I
Because
feel-
my name's Will.
Yeah, we understand the joke.
I feel like it should be Will Holland. I'm definitely not a rapist. That's what.
Oh no, I wanted to call it
I
Will
like
Holland.
if it's me, it's if there's a me, there's a way.
Yeah, that's a good one
I
to
like
do.
Will Holland. I promise I'm not Ed Norton.
Yeah, I was gonna say Will Holland. Yeah, Will Holland.
No, just Will
lot-
Holland and not Elton. No.
We'll put a photo of me right there so everyone can
Do you
laugh
think
at
you
that.
can-
Yeah.
Oh, you know what'd be
Like
funny
the
though is that like on the Netflix scroll by, it's a picture of Ed Norton.
Norton. I told Tony that, and he had a like. I could have Ed Norton walk out to start the special, and, like, pick up the mic, and I'll walk out like, "What the fuck?"
Get out of here.
On Netflix, it'd say, "Oh, did you enjoy this movie? You might related movies, American
Club.
History X, yeah, Fight Club."
Yeah.
Speaking of Netflix, I had somebody comment. Should
No.
I say his name?
Yeah, say it.
His name rhymes with Laurie Corroy.
Corey Leroy,
Leroy.
well-known joke thief here in the parts.
Well, that's
No,
not
no,
even
no,
his
no.
name
Cal
anymore.
Allen
His
now.
name's Cal Allen.
Oh,
Let's
Cal
get it
Allen.
right.
I like
Yeah.
how you outed his new name.
We have to make people. We're gonna
Dude, what does
know.
Cal Allen even stand for?
Tony, please tell us.
I think it's actually his name, Corey Allen Leroy, and
Allen.
then Allen again.
It's not a-
Cal stands for California.
That's what I thought too, but no, I think he's right. I think it's Corey Allen Leroy
It's
Allen.
it's
Oh,
a double
shit.
entendre.
I get it. C-A-L. Oh
Yeah.
my god.
Yeah.
It's like Jeb Bush. His real name
Listen
is
to-
John Ellis Bush.
because if you were gonna, yeah, exactly.
I'm deathly glaring at
Listen to this
Elena right
podcast,
now.
Elena. That was awesome. We clarified that. Then you were like, no, and then we re-clarified. You're like, I get it.
Yeah, it took a minute.
Yeah.
That's what
We got it.
But I guess
Well-known joke thief is all you got to know. Well-known.
Well-known.
Yes.
Very well.
Founded on Netflix.
No. So he had posted before that whole thing kind of went down that he was on Hulu, which he is. He's on Comedy Time, but that he was also featured on Netflix. And I had like 3 people who don't even know him personally. They just like know he's a comic and like I've seen him before that know me, and they were like, "He's a liar. He's not on Netflix." I looked. That was super funny. Like, oh shit.
Oh, yeah, because he's not.
Yeah.
I'm not saying shit.
That would
Yeah.
be that would be a good name for a
scared.
special again. If it like going on Netflix, you could call it like "Stop Scrolling Here." Be super
Cal
meta
Allen.
with
Don't worry, he's not
Shout
doing
out.
comedy anymore.
No, he is.
No, he is.
back.
He's coming back.
He's
Whoa.
back. He announced
Whoa.
it. He announced he's coming out of
Way too
retirement.
much.
Yeah.
Oh,
He was.
here's,
we
here's
kept
my
track.
Corey Allen Leroy.
Allen.
Followed me on Facebook, unfollowed me, refollowed me, unfollowed me, refollowed me, unfollowed me. Now I'm waiting for that last follow, and then I'm gonna say something because it's getting weird.
Yeah. But he unfollowed me from the improv class for no reason.
Yeah.
I was just sitting there and he came in. He didn't do good on stage, which is totally fine.
And we did like
And then-
one
and
scene.
like most
and
of
then
his
I got
sets.
unfriended.
Yeah.
I was like,
He said he hated it because he felt like it was like fake and like he didn't like the setup. But it's such
Well,
a
that's because he
different-
wasn't good at it,
Yeah.
so it
Yeah.
obviously not real comedy.
He was really upset.
Because I mean, it's hard to steal from somebody when they're doing the set right before. It's like I can't. It's like, oh, I'm gonna do the same character he. Everybody's gonna know. So.
this next scene is called Mirror Mirror.
Yeah.
It's gonna reflect you.
Oh boy.
But
Mirror,
You
mirror.
guys better
on
lock
the
your
wall.
doors.
No, he's.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
no.
we're definitely all getting stabbed. later.
He's gonna
Probably
come.
Oh,
to
like we're
Shamrock.
afraid of Corey. Like,
He's gonna come
shoot
to
us
and
all
shoot
up.
us.
Hey, but
yeah.
at
I don't
least,
know if
hey,
you've
at least
seen
the
it.
jury's gonna
Oh.
hear our podcast.
Worker, would you like to
this
be on
is
our
evidence
podcast?
right here.
Worker,
Don't yell at
No.
me.
we have to get a worker to come and talk.
We do.
They don't like going to the.
Well, I was
they don't
thinking
like
about calling the customer hotline and
Oh yeah. We're gonna call the customer
because we
hotline.
can't be in
I
the
don't
ball
think it's
pit.
24 hours.
Yeah, we want to go in the bullpen.
The toll-free
Uh,
number.
It's worth a
Well,
shot. Get it on.
We are
Will
gonna.
is
I'm going to
dialing.
call.
No,
the,
it's gotta be 24 hours.
Oh, actually, I
McDonald's are
only have
everywhere.
2% battery.
Oh.
James is gonna call.
Yeah, James. Mr. You're gonna be Mr. Electronics over here.
Electronics.
Damn, why is your phone so broken?
Because my phone
All right.
broke.
Dang,
And
we
this
all
is my
got
sister's
smashed
phone.
phones.
It's
I
everyone's
don't.
not will.
This was my sister's
you're
old
lucky
phone.
you
She
got
broke.
this early.
curse
She broke her
yourself.
phone.
You're not just
I didn't
smart
break my
maybe.
phone.
No,
My
like-
phone just decided to keel out.
We lost
Am
Brandon.
I the only Android owner here?
Yeah,
No,
I'm forced to have an iPhone.
me
so
too.
I'm on
yeah.
your side.
Yeah.
I'm changing my
Let's-
phone in like.
Let's get that clear real
Okay.
quick.
Yeah, I'm
I'm
100.
not like
I'm
Apple.
a proud Apple user.
You know,
Has-
you know what's
I'm
crazy
not.
about Apple users is they're like super diehard Apple users. You know what I mean? Like
It's
No,
the
that's
easy
not
people.
true.
I'm the most
I am
apathetic Apple
not
user in the world.
A
You're not-
diehard Apple user.
You're not.
I only use my Apple phone because we
Just
don't
an
get any
Apple
phone
accent.
calls at our house with Android. I was
That's
missing,
not true
like,
because
30
I have a
text
Nexus
messages.
6. Shout
Wait,
out
wait,
to
wait.
Google.
Let's go ahead and talk about this though for a second.
You're a conspiracy
wait,
theorist and
wait,
you
wait.
like Google?
Guys, I'm
Oh,
calling.
I love Google.
Guys, it's on
just
speaker.
because I'm a conspiracy
Oh,
theorist.
shit.
doesn't-
Oh, he's dialed.
Sorry.
He's dialed.
On the operator's office for the McDonald's in Temecula. We are currently unavailable at the moment.
See, they're
I told
closed.
you
God
they're
damn
closed.
it. Just hang up, James.
Wow, well, we
God,
tried.
McDonald's is a piece
Hey,
of ass.
shout out to Mickey D's. Just want to
We're
let
just
you know
How long
Cats
have
we
you been?
wanted
numbers
to use a
left and
ball
right.
pit.
38?
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
That's actually record time.
we are
Most
good. Oh,
podcasts
you
go
wanna-
90
Yeah.
or more.
Yeah. You want to cut it now?
We can
All
go
right.
to an hour.
Oh, you want to go do an hour?
Yeah, I can do it.
All right, you guys think you got an hour of material left in you?
Well,
How about
we-
this? How about who was your biggest comedy inspiration, Chris? Who, when you look at stand-up, you're like, that guy is the god of stand-up. Who is that?
Originally, I wanted to do stand up once I saw Nick Swardson because he said like and fucking like a million times. I was like, if he can talk like that, that's how I talk.
If Nick Swartzen can do it, you can do it.
It was inspiring.
Pauly Shore.
It was inspiring. And I
He's your
shout out to
Pauly
Nick
Shore.
Swartzen. You're great. You're great stand up. I love your stand up. But I have different.
Pretty good.
I love comedy. God, I have to say it's a past
Thanks,
is
Tony.
George Carlin past, and then living Louis C.K. Just because they're
If you have to pick one or the other, who's your all-time favorite?
all-time favorite
Live or dead?
comedian.
Yeah.
My gateway comic that I was always and still am a fan of Dane Cook. I always
Okay, fair enough.
I've always had it. Dane Cook was my go-to. But I have many favorites. It's tough. Louis C.K., Dane Cook, George
You guys want to hear
Carlin,
a funny story about Dane
Anthony
Cook?
Jeselnik,
Really, Anthony Jeselnik?
Yes, Jesselman.
amazing writer.
How is Jesselman not
like,
on your list?
No.
Why not?
One thing, I just forgot his name.
What does it rhyme with?
I don't know.
What does he look like?
Is this your all-time favorite?
Oh my, okay, yeah.
Chappelle.
Well, no, yeah, Dave Chappelle is my all-time favorite comedian, hands down. But
Was he the reason you got into it?
yes, probably one of the reasons. I was the class clown too. Just like, I was class clown. I knew I was funny,
Yeah.
so I just wanted to try it. But I actually like Greg Giraldo a lot. Like,
Oh,
he was
yeah.
a huge influence.
Okay.
Yeah.
Crowdwork
I was super into
Yeah.
roast
Roastmaster.
growing up, and Greg Giraldo was like, oh, I can't wait to see Greg, and he would kill it. And then I bought both of his albums as a teen, and I'd listen to them constantly.
What about you, Frank? Who's your comedy god in your mind?
Like all time favorite. It's so hard to have so many people I've watched through the years. I think
Top
top three, dude, Eddie Murphy.
Nice.
'Cause,
Yeah.
dude,
Solid.
oh god,
Yeah.
both of his specials so ridiculous,
And he was 19 doing
yeah.
it.
Well,
Like,
have you seen the
just
improv
stellar.
documentary that they actually talk about him?
Yeah.
And it's insane, dude. Like going in there, and dude, he did poop jokes on a special.
Yeah.
yeah,
Like,
and
both
killed.
specials.
And it
David,
worked.
David Tell did 90 minutes of poop jokes,
Yeah.
and then
Yep.
confetti fell.
Oh, I love
Yeah.
Dave Attell's new
Dave Attell's good.
Roadwork.
But what your other
Oh, yeah.
two?
Then George Lopez, for sure. And I would have to put Dave Chappelle. Like,
Yeah, I love
dude, 'cause
Dave.
Dave Chappelle, dude, Killing Him Softly was
I think
such a
that
great
that's because
special.
we're both 26. I think that like in that era of us watching TV, like Dave Chappelle was the best show
Dude,
on
Chappelle's
TV.
show changed my life.
Yeah,
Chappelle's show
absolutely.
changed, dude. Red Balls.
Yeah,
Red Balls was one of the best skits
I love.
I've ever seen in my
yeah.
life.
Shout out to Dave Chappelle.
What about you, James?
Come to Aces Comedy Club.
Top
Who's-
three.
No, who's your comedy god and then top three? Who's your
Okay.
all-time? Who's the reason you got into comedy?
That's such a tough one.
Inspirational
I
comedy.
just watched so much stand-up.
Just do
growing
it.
up.
Pussyfooting
First one
around.
was
gonna be like
Jim Gaffigan, maybe.
Do
One of
it.
the first ones.
Solid.
Jim
He's a
Gaffigan
solid
is
one.
solid.
Yeah.
He's,
choice.
He's still great. People that top three that I'm really into right now. Rory Scovel.
Oh yeah, yeah.
He's
Moon.
just, Yeah, Moon.
Day
Moon.
Moon, yeah.
Oh, it's just. If you haven't listened to him, listen to him.
Just listen to
He's
Day
got
Moon.
one
Just-
album on Spotify.
And listen to Day Moon.
Uh,
That's only good.
no, he's got like a Comedy
Only
Central
good
30-minute
joke.
special.
Yeah, 30 minutes.
Yeah, that's it.
Were you a big Dimitri Martin?
Yeah, Dimitri Martin.
Yeah,
was,
Dimitri
yeah, I
Martin,
grew
you
up
were a
watching a lot of
huge
Dimitri
Dimitri
Martin. I just watched his new special.
Live
And
is
it's,
live.
yeah,
at the
like,
ti-
and
at
it's
the
just
time.
how does he do so much one-liners? And it's like another Mitch Hedberg, who's another
That's how
one of my
Anthony
tops.
Jeselnik is all one-liners.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Steven
It's
Wright.
But he's like.
But you pull it off
yeah.
so
Dark.
well.
Yeah.
No,
I
I
respect
like.
those
I
people
was
so
telling
much.
Will like he's like that. He's like the cocky Stephen Wright. Like he's
Yeah.
a super cocky Stephen Wright type, which is great.
Absolutely.
But I respect those guys so much because one-liners are just practically
Hard to
it's
do,
hard
dude.
to
awesome.
do.
For an hour,
Which is why I respect Chris because he has like 4 or
Popsicle
5
stick jokes.
Yeah.
Screw you, more than 5. Thank you very much.
All right,
I
let's
gotta
not
give
get
you
into it.
No, let's not get
Brandon,
into numbers.
Just
Brandon,
great.
who's your comedy god? Why you got into it? And then top three.
Dan Cummins. That's my all-time favorite.
Solid.
Yeah.
Very solid.
Like
He's a newer guy, but he's really
he's new,
funny.
but he was
No,
the
I
first
mean,
guy
I
I watched,
understand.
and I was like, you know what, this guy, I get it. Like
He's funny. I
yeah,
like
he's
a
just
lot
so
of his
out
jokes.
there
I
and
get
weird.
it.
He
This is comedy. I
he
get
he
it.
spoke to
I'm
me.
laughing.
I mean,
Yeah,
I'm laughing.
yeah.
that's who got me. Like, you know what? Yeah, let's go.
And after research, who'd you pick?
I just want to
Well played.
I forgot to mention Joe Rogan's current mic.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm
I
mad
can
at
see
myself for
that.
not saying his name
I like
earlier.
Joe Rogan a lot too.
Die-hard fan.
Yeah,
He's
somebody-
a philosophical.
How's
comment.
nobody
mentioned
when I
Joe
first?
Rogan,
Yeah,
it's
no,
fine.
and then Tom Segura too. But
Tom Segura in my mind is the pinnacle of stand-up comedy. Tom Segura is perfect.
He's
He has
perfect
he has
for it.
everything. He has perfect crowd work. He has really good, solid jokes. He's clever. He has great stories. He does everything. He does everything well. He's the jack of all trades. Like, you watch
he's
a Tom Segura
hilarious.
joke, it flows well, but none of it goes together, and it's absolutely fucking fantastic.
He's great. Yeah, I like. And he's perfect for what he does.
Yeah, my top 3, I'd go Tom Segura 1, Ian Bagg 2. Ian Bagg.
from the new Last Comic Standing.
No, he's been around since
No,
'94.
I know he's been around forever.
Yeah, but he's on Last Comic
But
Standing.
Yeah, he's
Finally-
getting
now.
big now. Yeah, and then Pete Holmes is another really good one
Pete Holmes
that I
is
don't think
good.
anyone mentioned.
No.
I like
He
his-
was
his-
all right.
I like his
you
character
wouldn't make
work
my
better.
top 3, but Pete Holmes is pretty good. No, he's funny. I mean,
Yeah.
I just think he needs a mention right now.
decent shout out. But
We
then, I mean,
need-
if you're gonna shout out another person, John Mulaney is hilarious.
Yes, John.
He's in my top 3.
Yeah, John Mulaney's.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
new in town, I've heard.
See, but we just only named like
Reference.
the newer guys. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, obviously the
But I'm younger,
classics.
so.
George Carlin.
No, yeah,
Yeah,
George
he-
Carlin. I mean,
George
but
Carlin.
I think that's the problem because I mean, it's like as comedians we're supposed to say George Carlin, Richard Pryor. You're supposed to say all
Yeah,
those guys.
it's just assumed.
Yeah, it's just like okay.
Anytime I go
we
into a
know.
conversation with them, I know
Yeah,
they like
yeah.
them.
Yeah, it's like the
I want to know
How
who
do
they
you
like
not?
now. Like
It's
David
like,
Tell
yeah.
is killing it now. Like we all like David Tell.
Oh yeah,
Like,
David Tell's
it's-
awesome.
we
You know
did-
who
Right now,
I didn't
Joe
like,
Rogan for
and I
me.
mean I don't want to, but I didn't like Chris Tucker being so.
No, his
tight.
new special.
Yeah.
No,
His new special
He
was
talks
like
about
so clean cut. I liked
It
him
wasn't
being
Chris
dirty.
Tucker.
Yeah. He
Yeah.
talked about how he wants to kind of come in and
But
do
I don't
a
know
new
if he was
Church
ever really a
Queen.
stand-up.
He was, but he only had that one
One,
kind of
yeah.
thing, and then he just kind of blew up from there, doing acting and stuff. But he did talk about how he's like, yeah, I want to take it back to his example was Pudding Pops.
Oh,
Bill
popsicle
Cosby.
stick
Bill Cosby
joke?
was like, I want to take it back to the Bill Cosby days.
I thought you said popsicle stick joke.
Yeah,
That's
no.
funny, but-
No, sorry.
No, but pudding pops.
You know, he
That was
wants to
Bill
take it back
Cosby.
to that clean comedy because I mean, if you watch old school Bill Cosby, that's just pretty funny, dude. He says some shit that got me going on a good one, and I'm like, damn, you didn't have to get dirty, you didn't have to get nothing. You put me in you took me back to my childhood. In this weird situation. That was kind of cool. Quick shout out to Cheech and Chong. I know they're not stand-ups, but
What?
they
They were
changed.
stand-ups.
They didn't do
They
like
totally
stand-up
are.
per se, but
Yeah,
they
No,
would
they did
do
sketch.
They would do
Yeah.
live
They are.
sketch.
I'm with you, they
And,
are.
Dude,
No, they're
for
totally
me,
stand-up.
dude,
Yeah.
Yeah.
those movies I've watched more than 100 times each one. Like every one of their things they've done, and it inspires me to be really.
No, yeah,
funny, dude.
the dream is to be like the group of it's either be like Adam Sandler and his friends or be
Yeah.
like Seth Rogen and his friends.
Yeah.
Like that's
Yeah.
it's like who's gonna be the next group of kids
Right.
to be able to do that?
Dude,
you know?
whitest kids you
It'd be
know.
nice to
Yeah.
be able to be a part
Speaking
of that.
speaking of kids coming up in comedy right now, what about Bo Burnham? You guys
Hell
a
yeah,
fan?
dude.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what's funny is
All
I
comic.
liked him since his YouTube video.
Yeah.
I saw, the first video I ever saw was my whole family thinks I'm gay, and I was like, that's
That was
funny because
so
I think
good.
you're gay.
Yeah, the best. I had never seen somebody so young killed with a 9/11 joke. I couldn't believe
Well,
he pulled it off. It was
People in
amazing.
9/11 killed with mental.
Really will. That's where we're gonna go tonight.
That's funny though.
You guys didn't all fucking think of that. You guys hear 9/11 and kill, and you guys don't instantly go to, oh, people did die in 9/11. I have a funny 9/11 story.
Oh God.
So I was in class. Dropped my water, whatever, orange soda.
Phone.
I was in class. I was in class, and it was in college, and I had a super duper gay professor. The fact that he's gay has nothing to do with the story, but it's true, so I'm gonna mention it. And
Shout out to gay
yeah,
professors.
the class went from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. And so obviously we passed through 11:11 during that time. And the teacher was like, every day at 11:11, I'm gonna point to a different person, and they're gonna stand up and make a wish.
Oh,
and
no.
everyone
not gonna
else,
end well.
everyone else wished for normal fucking things. They're like, oh, I hope I get an A on the test, or
You
I
made
hope
it all happen.
Shh, I hope, or and then they're like, oh, I wish I get an A on the test. I hope we don't have homework tonight. So I didn't think anything of it. And then my day comes, and he's like, oh, well, just so you know, you're gonna do the wish today. So 11:11 came, and he's
On
like,
9/11.
no, not on 9/11.
Oh,
Don't, shh, don't.
Next time you
I
tell
think I
that
know what's going on,
story,
I'm not gonna say it.
Hold your
Talking
O's.
about 9/11.
Hold your O's. So he goes, okay, Will, stand up. And I didn't put any thought into this. I was like, I can just come up and say words, like whatever. So I stand up, and he goes, Will, what's your wish? And I was like, I wish 9/11 never happened. Because I do. I really wish that didn't happen.
It's a fair wish.
But as soon as it left my mouth, I went no, and everyone in the class looked at me like I caused 9/11. Like they looked at me like, what the fuck did you just do? Like that.
That's funny.
And it's not done. And then this is where it gets weird. I turned to the person that was sitting like left adjacent to me, and I go, "But I guess you can wish for an A on a test, selfish."
That's funny.
They still didn't laugh.
Oh.
Yeah, I
Had
was
already
known as the
turned on
9/11
you.
kid.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's one on you on 9/11 too.
And that's when the whole audience started, or the class started chattering, and you knew it was over.
Yeah, that's when. That's
I did a 9/11 joke when I used to do the 2 Chainz bit.
I remember.
And it was going really well, and because I would do this bit where it's like everything I see, it was like I saw 4 blonde ladies coming out of the mall, and I was like, oh shit, 2 brains, right? And then I seen 2 Chinese people working at a Chinese restaurant, 2 Changs, and then
I missed that bit, by the way. That was a good bit.
No, yeah, and then I was like, oh no! As I was walking through the mall, I see on the TV it was a 9/11 documentary, and I was like, oh no, 2 planes.
Right.
And then even after that, I was like, you know what they used to clean all that up? 2 cranes.
That's funny as fuck.
Yeah.
Why don't you? Why don't you do that anymore?
Yeah,
It's like 2 Chainz ain't relevant.
Also,
Yeah,
will we get this recorded right now? Will you please do your 9 dicks jokes for the internet?
Oh, for
Just
the
so this is
internet?
forever put in history is that you did this. He's done this on stage, and he wrote this and went, yep, this is a good idea, and
Yeah.
proceeded to tell it in front of people.
No, I said, what was the joke? The premise of the joke was, I know how to braid. And not because I have a sister. I taught myself how to braid. I had to because I got 9 dicks, you see. And see, what I do is I'll take 3 dicks and I'll braid them, and then I take 3 dicks and I'll braid them, and then I take the last 3 dicks, and you guessed it, I'll braid them. And then sometimes I'll take those 3 dicks, the braided dicks, and I'll braid those, and now I got a super dick.
Yeah, I remember that.
Oh God,
We
I
have a
missed
guy in
that.
the corner laughing at Tony's 9 dicks.
Yeah,
There's
first time I
people
saw
in here listening to
the
it.
first time I saw Tony, he had the 1,000-pound head.
Oh, dude,
Oh,
you told me
God.
about that. That was such a great bit. Like, I want to see
Put
you
his
do
head
that
on the
hard.
stool, and I was like, this guy.
I remember that.
Who is this guy?
Yeah, that was a funny one.
Tony Bowers, like most comics write something and go, I'm never going to do that on stage. Tony Bauer writes it and he goes, fuck it.
Let's try it
This
out.
is definitely
Yeah.
work.
I'll do what they won't.
Quick transition. It has to do with comedy. So there's a new guy in our group. I just want to. He seems, and I don't mean like him, but I mean like when you come into a new group, being a new comics, do you think it's weird, kind of breaking that wall of the new comics? Like, trying
No,
to get into
it's
that?
I see he's
Like the
doing
new
it
kid in
just
town?
like
Yeah,
the
he's
bigger
here
kid,
tonight.
Joe or something.
Yeah.
It's his second
Cooper.
time doing stand-up.
Second time
ever.
doing it.
Yeah.
But, like as a comic.
Well, I remember
you know?
Blaze. You guys remember? I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
Blaze.
Blaze, I remember Blaze.
When he first did comedy, I was the host, and I was eating like the free food that I got, right? And he comes over and he starts eating food off my plate like
Too
we're
far.
best friends.
Too far.
Wait.
And I was like,
That,
dude,
that was
I
totally Blaze, though.
Yeah.
Wait.
That was
Blaze does
100%
this.
Blaze.
When Blaze first ever started doing try to do comedy.
When?
When right after you were done hosting.
That's not his first time.
That's not
was
first
it?
First time Blaze and I did comedy at the Edge. Back
Oh,
in
really?
back
Damn.
when Rocky was hosting
See,
the Edge.
I had no
And
idea
then
who
he
this
dropped
guy
off
was.
the planet,
Yeah.
and then he came back, and
Came
that
back.
was his
Well,
first time again.
Yeah.
Well, you know, he came to the improv class for a while.
Yeah.
And you know how we all go to like IHOP afterwards? He
did
would
that?
come. He would come, not order anything, just wait for everybody else to be done, and be like, "Hey,
You
you
gonna
gonna
eat
finish
that?
that?"
Really? Huh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Everybody's
But
food.
no,
they
yeah,
can't-
he ate my food, and I immediately was like, "What the fuck?" So I was like, "All right, coming up to the stage," and he had like an LA Fitness shirt on. I was like, and it said trainer. I was like, "Coming up to the stage, some guy you would never want to get trained by." And I said something about man titties, and then I was like, "Here you go."
In retrospect, don't ever take Tony Bauer's food.
But
Don't ever take his
it's,
food.
I don't know. I broke into the comedy. Tony Bowers broke me into the comedy scene because like they were all cliquey and stuff, and I kept going to Aces. And eventually he's like, "Well, this kid's gonna be here. I'm gonna talk to him." And the way he did it was, I was talking to another comic that I kind of knew. His name was Cody. He's dead now, probably. I don't know. Whatever happened to him.
Cody Lore.
Cody Lore, yeah.
Yeah, he's still
Cody.
alive.
And we were talking, and then Tony Bowers walked up, and he's like, "You knew?" And I said, "Yeah." And he's like, "This is the best advice you'll ever get." And if you guys don't know Tony, but I'm gonna say this, and all the comics are gonna go, "Yep, Tony Bowers." He said that. He looked at me and he's like, "You gotta pre-write all your crowd work at home, and then practice it in the mirror." And I looked at him like, that doesn't make any sense. I don't know what the crowd's going to look like. He's like, you don't write it about the actual crowd. You just make up people in the crowd. You'll be like, hey, is that right, dirty sock?
Yeah.
And then he walked out of the building.
I walked away from him. I just left a little turd nugget of knowledge and said, do with that what you will.
Nugget of knowledge.
That's Tony Bowers.
No, yeah, you definitely don't pre-crowd work.
Do not pre-write crowd work.
No. Roll with it.
How high were you that day, man?
Oh, you know what's funny? It's because that's not the first time I remember talking to you.
What was the first time?
The first time I remember talking to you is I told you I liked your Ninja Turtle joke or whatever. That's the first thing I remember saying. I was like, man, that's a funny joke. You know, why do they need the mask? And I was like, that was the first time I ever heard somebody do that. I was like, oh, that's
I want to
fucking
hear that.
you're interesting.
You know who's his name is too?
That's his first
He's done
time.
it. Yeah,
like one of
it's
his first
a
times,
little bit
yeah.
old.
I don't
He
remember
did it
this.
his first
I'm
time.
a Ninja
By the way,
Yeah,
the
that's
table over there
ours,
is
so
looking
I
at
love
us.
I know.
Quite
No, but
Should we
it was
invite
what was the
Would you guys like
bit?
to
It was
speak on
like,
It was like, I don't understand, like, why the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles need to wear masks. Like, they take off the mask and they're still giant fucking turtles.
That's great.
Like,
Yeah.
this,
Now, what are they hiding?
the little-
yeah,
like-
exactly. Like who?
That's
And-
brilliant. Why aren't
They don't
dude,
take it off and be like,
see,
Michael,
that's-
Michael.
You need to get that on. You need to get that on YouTube.
No, it was on.
That's
It sucks
hilarious.
because like he said it and I was like I remembered it and then like 2 months later or something like.
This
who
is why
did-
I don't do it.
Gary Busey or somebody. Oh no,
No,
it was Bill Murray.
Bill
Bill
Murray.
Murray said it. Yeah.
Bill Murray
Murray's like
tweeted
what,
it out.
Yeah, he tweeted it.
Yeah, that's why I don't do it. I don't want people to think I stole it.
Yeah.
He heard Will do it, and he was like,
bummer.
"That's a good joke, Will. I'm
Yeah,
gonna use it."
He heard me at a shitty.
So, but when I told him, I was like, hey, at least great minds, you know. It's like
Yeah.
you gotta be happy that at least he thought of it too.
Yeah.
That's why I don't do it.
But yeah, it was a funny bit.
Too bad.
And you know what else is a funny bit that you do, and I just talk about it when you're not around, is the time machine bit. That is hilarious. Like,
yeah.
why did nobody
Well,
think that?
Honestly,
Why?
like, what do you
Because
want? It was such a
I don't-
nobody
bit.
thinks of that until you say it. Where you go,
Here, put it on now so
You
that
know-
no one can steal it from you.
because that's
It's-
hilarious.
I hate stupid, like, I hate when you meet people because you have to go through the whole, like, rigmarole of, oh, you're into music? I'm into music too. Like, yeah, we're fucking people. But the dumbest question people ask when they get to know each other is, like, if you had a time machine and you could go back in time and bring one piece of technology with you from today, what would you bring to show them? And everyone's always like, oh, I'd bring my cell phone, my iPad. I would show them the fucking time machine because I feel like that's the pinnacle of
Yeah.
all scientific advancement.
Like anything else,
It's just not, like, if
it's
we're all...
not the time. I'm pretty sure the time machine has a cell phone
Don't
attached to it.
touch screen interface.
We're all sitting here right now, and then all of a sudden we see like, and somebody steps out of a portal, and they go, "Look at this cell phone." We'd all go,
I'd be staring
"No,
at the portal.
fucking talk about that machine right there." Like nobody would give a
get here?
shit about that.
Like, that's cool, but explain that.
I used to be so clever.
Used to be.
Damn.
What happened to that guy?
We miss that, Will.
I do too. I miss that world too.
Expanding.
Yeah.
It was fun.
But
I've heard you do that joke recently.
I did it Friday at Aces. No, I did it Thursday at Aces.
Thursday at Aces,
Yeah, I did
yeah.
it Thursday.
I just have to say this because it's so crazy that this happened tonight. But tonight,
We had a show earlier. That's what he's
we
referring
just
to.
left the show, and I had a weird, very strange thing happen to me tonight. I, in the midst of like crowd work and trying to talk to the audience, I somehow someone had a tattoo, and then
Tattoo face.
and we were talking about half sleeves or whatever, and then I said, well, I have one on my leg, and then they were like, they dared me to show them. When I showed them, they wanted me to explain it, and so I ended up telling them about how my mom passed away from cancer, and it's a and everyone was like, oh my god, and it was like really like heartfelt. People were like, that is a beautiful story, but blah blah blah. But the crazy thing is,
He made it up.
yeah. Best joke ever. No, that would have been awesome.
Only the best punchline to that
I
joke
wish
ever.
this was made up.
only a comic would say that.
Yeah.
Right? I wish I would have thought of it.
Yeah, I wasn't trying to be funny. They made me talk about it, so I started talking about it. I didn't really want to go there. But the thing was, before I went up on stage, there was this table, and I saw there was an older gentleman and a bunch of younger women with him, and I thought, I'm like, oh, they're right in the heart of the show. No one's talked to them, and they're about to leave.
They were his comedy
They're about
pimps, as you refer
Yeah,
to.
and I
That
was
so
like,
funny.
they're like
You
comedy
can laugh at that
pimps.
one, dearling.
And I'm like, I'm like, someone's got to talk to them. I want to get up there, so I'm like, I got to get up there, get it quick before they're leaving. So I got up there, and I had to talk to them, and then I ended up talking about the tattoo. What's crazy is after they left, I went out and talked to them, and was like, hey, thanks for coming out to the show. Thanks for being good support. How come you guys actually came here? They came to the show because their dear friend just passed away from cancer. And it was like, dude, like, I can't believe I had this, I needed to talk to them, and I ended up telling them about something I never talked about on stage, about my mom and cancer, and then they went there for it. It was...
There's actually a conspiracy theory being written about it right
Yeah.
now.
I swear
later.
The world works in really mysterious, little things happen that are just so bizarre, and especially in stand-up when your mind's firing at full capacity because you're on adrenaline and you're trying to come up with something funny. Sometimes I think your subconscious reaches out and like feel like, I don't know, I think something you channel and something happens.
You guys can't see Chris, but if you can, you'd look at him and go, yeah, you'd say all this stuff. You look like the kind of guy that believes this.
No, but that's kind of true. Like, it's weird. Like, put me in a regular situation, and I might not come up with something. Put me on stage with a microphone,
right?
And I'm way more
You're gonna
like
come up
ready
with
to come up with something clever.
Well, it's
at least
fight or
say
flight.
something.
It's fight or
My
flight, and
style's
you got
based around.
your ego's kicking in, and you're in fight or flight. You're on the defense, and like you're on fire. You're firing at full capacity on your brain, but that's why I always say it's very much like doing drugs, and it's very addictive, and you always want to do it.
Yeah.
And you can't. You're always, and when you get that white hot, like best show ever, all the other shows suck.
Yeah.
Compared to that, and then you gotta get. It's like that.
It's
that pure.
But it's still the best
heroin.
feeling.
Yeah.
It's the shittiest best feeling in the world.
Yeah.
I've told Will sometimes, like, if I haven't gone on stage in a week, like 0 shows, no open mic, anything in a week, I feel miserable, actually. I'll feel like a piece of
Right,
shit.
and it's like, I'm telling you, you can get addicted, and it's crazy.
Speaking about talking about, well, it's just about.
And we're gonna end it on that note. Tony Bowers, will you sip us out, please?
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Thank you for tuning into the McDonald's podcast, everybody. Everybody say goodbye.
Bye. See you guys. Catch us every Wednesday or something like that.
Or whenever it comes out.
It's still Tuesday, I believe.
Thanks for listening this long.